I don't know whether parents are aware that the PSLE format this year is a new one.
No,
Yeah.
I'm quite sure they are not.
Yeah, so it's a new format. So the change was now for Booklet A, which is the MCQ portion, instead of 28 questions, there are now 30. So from 56 marks, it's now 60 marks. And then for the Booklet B, previously, there were altogether 12 questions, but now there are 10 questions, and so Booklet B now is reduced from 44 marks to 40. So this has an impact on the children. Although the change seems very small and subtle, right? But it can impact the revision in a big way, because for one, the multiple choice question, the techniques and how do you revise and do it better, that becomes quite crucial now.
Okay.
Yeah, because MCQ for a very long time, right? Parents kind of like they are always very confident that their children can do very well in the MCQ.
Okay.
But what we are observing this year is the children's MCQ are not as good. Yeah, not as good, not as polished. It's like their skills are not as polished as before. So because they are now 60 marks, so doing well, can you imagine if you score full marks? That is immediately an AL5.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that your Booklet B becomes like really your quality passes, whether you get the AL1 to 4.
B, is it? Okay.
AL1 to 4, we call it quality passes.
AL1 to 4.
Yeah, quality passes. Then it's like more than half a better one.
Okay.
Yeah, so actually I will really urge parents to really focus on the MCQ paper.
Okay.
Yeah, but doing well in MCQ requires a few skills. The first one, of course, is content, because MCQ, a lot of the questions are what we call knowledge-based questions.
Which is content, right?
Yes, which is content. Knowledge-based, which is content. Yeah. So for knowledge-based question, the children must really know their topics well, their content well, and if there is a content gap, right, it shows up quite badly in MCQ. So if they are scoring 44 marks and below, right, usually it indicates that the child needs to work on revising the content better. Okay, so things like mind maps, reading the textbook regularly, right? Having like a misconception notebook,
Misconception notebook.
Yes, these are very helpful.
Meaning just write down the things that you keep on getting wrong, then that means it's
Yes, so a lot of the children, when it comes to science, right, they depend a lot on doing current papers.
Okay.
But however, this way of revising may not be helpful all the time. Practicing without a good foundation in content is really not going to be helpful. Because you're essentially repeating your mistakes without knowing what truly matters. Yeah. So that I would really urge parents to really review, what their content gaps. Yeah, their content gaps.
Booklet 2 is what actually.
Beforehand was 44.
Yeah.
Now it's 40. They're quite structured questions.
Structured questions. Okay.
Yeah. So from open-ended, right, they now call it structured. So that is another key difference parents need to know.
So is this the latest change, open-ended?
Yeah. It's this year. This is the first year sitting for this new format.
Okay.
Yeah. So the parents really must be aware.
Let's talk about mind maps. Why is this important? Just a brief definition of what mind map is. Okay.
So mind maps is where you basically recall your content, right, visually.
So you just put it down and all that, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, so it's like there's many ways to draw a mind map, right? You can use lines, you can use pictures, you can use symbols, right? It doesn't matter. Okay, so why this is helpful? Because children, essentially at their stages now, they are very visual creatures.
Yeah.
Okay, very visual humans. And when they are able to recall things visually, right, it means that the content has gone into the deep long-term memory. A lot of parents will thought that, my child can produce one mind map per topic and that's good enough. No. So what I'm trying to say is you need to ask your child every time they do it's like us washing face. Sorry, I give an analogy. It's like us washing face. You know, like every day you wash your face, but maybe once per month you do a deep facial. Okay. So it's like doing mind map, right? It's like a deep facial. Okay. But because we are talking about PSLE, so that deep recall session, that deep revision now has to be more frequent, maybe once every fortnight. So once every fortnight, your child needs to do a deep revision of concepts. And using mind maps, how would you know your child got it? Is because your child should be, their mind maps, you should be able to see content from other topics. Your child is able to link the concepts from other topics. So for example, if now your child is doing a mind map on water cycle. So in that water cycle, you should be able to see concepts from the primary 4 hit topic. Then you know that your child truly got it. Because your child is able to recall other topics that's linked to this current topic. What is considered a good mind map, right?
Yes, correct.
So like I say, one is like the cross-topic content. Another one is the mind map should contain misconceptions. So it's not just the content, but your child is able to like write misconception inside the mind. Like they will write exclamation mark, like some asterisk. So they are really catching themselves. So they know that this part is important. And the last but not least is the child should be able to even highlight some keywords. It's just these 3 things, like able to go to other topics, cross topics, the context, right? Able to highlight their own misconception.
What do you mean by highlight own misconception?
So it's like when they're writing their mind map, you see them saying things like exclamation mark, water vapor do not make out of clouds, for example. Why would they highlight this? Because this is always tested, and it's a misconception that a lot of children make. So they will really write out things that they probably have made mistakes before. When they have that, right, that means they really got it. Because they are remembering all the mistakes that they are making. Right. And then the last one, of course, like I said, is the keywords.
Able to highlight keywords, right, you said?
Yes. So they are able to identify and highlight the keywords used in the topic.
If there's a content gap, this is meaning like there's some foundational part of the knowledge is just missing. They don't quite
less than 44. So I'm giving them a checkpoint. I think parents will find this checkpoint very useful.
This 44 marks for booklet 2, is it?
For booklet A. Yeah, so if it's less than 44 marks in booklet A, usually it indicates some content gaps. Because there's really a lot of parents who think that MCQ don't matter. Yeah, they really thought that MCQ is easy to score. It is easy if your child is really strong in the concepts and has like really sufficient practice. At the end, it should be treated as important as the Booklet B, which is the structured question. So a lot of parents are going to be curious about this term structured question.
What is a misconception booklet?
So this misconception booklet, right?
This is in the context of, their knowledge gaps, how to really kind of really fix these gaps, correct?
Yes. So a lot of parents will ask me, like, how do I fix the content gap? My child does not like to read. So very common is my child does not like to read, or the textbook is not helpful. So usually for that, right, then I will recommend that the child carries a personal misconception book. So every time when the child, the child themselves usually will encounter mistakes, right? And they will know that they keep making like similar mistakes. So it is very useful to keep actually a record of the misconceptions that in school, like keep it like a personal book. So it's like when we're young, the language teachers will ask us to keep a vocabulary. So it's a similar idea. So this misconception book, right, is so personal, and so when they revise and they look through, it becomes very meaningful. It clicks in immediately, and it also becomes targeted. So this personal misconception book not only is personal, it's targeted, right? And it's also a physical reminder to the child to remember their mistakes.
Okay.
right? And to review them.
It's not dwelling on mistakes, but like the child themselves know
Yeah,
that
it's
when
like be aware, like they
aware.
become more aware that these are the mistakes that they often make. I mean, it's not to put them down,
Yeah.
right? So this is a learner's journey. You know, so the book is like recording a journey in science. Is to encourage your child to be to take ownership.
Okay.
Yeah, encouraging your child to take ownership in learning. And isn't that what we all what we all parents want? Yeah, you know, at the end, you know, a lot of parents will say, oh, my child isn't motivated, my child finds don't want to learn science, are very lazy, you know, they will say all this. Yeah, so at the end, if you have this book, is to encourage the ownership. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
The child owns their own learning, owns their own mistakes, know what's going on. Can buy a nicer book. Okay, the most creative I think this kid he got a stack of you know, the sticky pad.
And post-it note.
Post-it, yeah. So the entire post-it, all day long he was doing this, and then I asked him, why are you doing this? Why is this like a accordion? You know? So he said, oh, it's all my misconceptions. I said, oh, I said, oh, this was such an easy and clever way. Yeah.
Okay, this is interesting. So this is, and then the last one we talked about reading the textbook more. What is the misconception here? A lot of parents do say science textbook, what's the point?
Yeah.
Can we first address that? What is this issue? Would you agree that many parents do feel that the science textbook, you have encountered that maybe? What do they say?
Like they say that the science textbook isn't helpful, not practical, okay, because the science textbook does not pick up to the exam question. Okay, so for example, like the exam questions, right, often have experimental setup questions. And the experimental questions, right, are often not discussed in the textbook. So a lot of parents, right, were, you know, like our era, you just have to eat the textbook and then you just regurgitate. Right, so whatever that is on the exam question, 90% of the chance it came from the textbook. Okay. Right? But now, right, the textbook is no longer that way. Okay. So actually the textbook now, if you look carefully, actually uses the word guide. Textbook. G-U-I-D-E is a guide. It's a guide. So our textbook are no longer supposed to be the Bible, you know, like the encyclopedia. Because MOE has made a very big attempt to move away from rote memorization to application. And that's why over the years also the new format, that's why they remove the topic on cells. This tells you that MOE is determined to reduce the content. They are determined to reduce the content that the children need to memorize. So they really do not want any more rote memorization, they just want application. So because of that, right, the questions are more on the application type of question. Like you need to think. The paper is no longer, the PSLE paper is now a thinking paper. Okay. Yeah, it's no longer as before like information regurgitation, you know, yes. It's really a thinking paper. And that's why parents feel that the textbook is useless. I mean, this is not how thinking is being taught. Okay. But what I'm saying is, before your child can think, your child needs the information. Our human brain recognizes pattern, right? So we need the information before we can think. So what I'm saying to the parents is, yes, the textbook is not a direct resource to excellent exam grades, right? But it's definitely a necessary study tool, because it is the one that gives your child that content. You need your child to learn the content first, to really understand, to read and understand the content before your child can apply. So that's why go back and read the textbook. So actually my tip to parents is read the textbook, one topic every week. I mean, there's this thing called the forgetting curve. It's a well-known, well-researched education term, forgetting curve. Even adults, we forget 90% of the things we read and we study. Not to mention children, right? It's going to for them, this forgetting curve is even more visible. So that's why reading the textbook regularly will help the children to lock the content into long-term memory.
What is what's so different that like last time it was called open-ended questions and now it's structured questions? What is the effective difference?
Okay, I really want parents to know, children to know, the question is your best friend.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so
meaning like Booklet B.
Booklet B, Booklet A as well. Okay, so
A and B.
Yeah,
Okay.
A and B. So I really love the way that MOE now has renamed this as structured question. Yeah, because I think that this is an indication by the ministry, to tell the children that there are clues, to help them to answer the question. And that's really super important, because I think at the end, right, when it comes to children, we want to tell them that PSLE, right, it's not to punish them. That sometimes they feel very hopeless when they hear this word PSLE. I think at the end, it is very crucial to let them see that the PSLE is really just a milestone in this learner's journey. Okay, one of the many milestones that they have yet to meet. Okay, and it's not something that's life or death. Okay, so anyway, I love this word structured question because it tells the kids that, look, the question is your best friend. So I want you to enter the exam feeling happy and confident. There's going to be clues, right? So one of the first thing for the structured question, right, is really the reading skill. In the very complicated world now that we're in, where our eyeballs track information at a very fast rate, because of social media and because on the speed of information given to children, reading skill now is lost. Children no longer read, right? They no longer can really sit down. Like that day I was challenging my kid. I say, you can sit down for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, okay, read this, okay? Yeah. Just that, even that focus reading is a lost skill. Okay? So science structured questions are usually pretty long. There are several parts in the science question, but they are necessary because I always tell the kids if the question is very logical, like yay, a lot of clues, right? So there's actually a lot of clues in the question. So first, read and read really carefully. What are the key question terms?
What are the common terms?
Okay, so key questions. So are they asking for describe? Are they asking for compare, explain, predict, suggest? Yeah, these are the 5 very common, and each of them require a very different answer strategy. So really must read. So that's the first thing. Okay. So I think one of the parenting tip I tell parents this is truly golden. I tell the parents cover the main question. For science question, alright, there's actually 2 parts. The first part we call it the question STEM, STEM. So for example, if now I were to tell you about a bird adaptation, okay? So I'll say that bird X lives in a wet environment and eats other animals.
Okay, right. So this is the question STEM.
We call it the question STEM. Maybe an easier part, we can call it the story, the question story. Okay, I think it's easier to understand. Yeah, this is the question story. And then after you will see a picture of the bird, right? A picture of bird X, which is also part of the question story. So for science, uniquely is the unique thing of science is there are always diagrams, and the diagram is part of this question story, and the children must learn to even read the diagrams. Don't read the pictures carefully, right? Okay. So I always tell the parents cover the question. Okay. So the question a question might be take a physical adaptation of bird X that helps it to hunt other animals. So this is the question. So I will tell parents cover this, and then just focus on the question story, and then ask your child, what do you understand from the story? What are the clues that the story is telling you? Just these 2 questions. And then the child may say things like, oh, there's a bird X, wet environment, right? Hunts other animals. Very good. So what's the story trying to tell you? Oh, bird X is a predator, mommy or daddy. Oh, very good, how do you know? Or the other animals. Oh, yeah. That's a clue. What? Question is a best friend, right? Then maybe the next thing, I say, oh, bird X can swim.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know? Oh, wet environment. And then the picture, daddy, you see, got wet feet. Right? So there's a lot of things that the child is really telling you. So by the time you open and say, this is the question, state a physical adaptation that enables it to eat other animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe the child will say that, oh, then look, it has a sharp tendons, something like that. Yeah. So, but the child will arrive it very naturally and very easily because the child has already finished analyzing the question.
Okay.
The question is your best friend. So you must teach your children to first spend time on the question story. Get the clues out first. Later on, all the structured question, right, the questions, I tell you, it's very natural, it flows very easily. A lot of children struggle, right, is because they read the question, they got the steps wrong already, they read the question, then they go and look at the question story for clues. It is a wrong step.
But why do they do that?
Because children don't read these days.
Oh.
They skip.
I understand. Okay. So it's sort of like, and also maybe does it alleviate some kind of fear and anxiety in a sense?
Yes. I mean, it's natural. We all want to finish the paper quickly.
Yeah.
You know, get the answer out. I mean, yes, it's natural, but it's really not the best way to do science. What happens is when the child reverse the step, read the question, then you read the question story, right? Then you realize that the child, right, is answering the question without understanding.
Okay.
That's without understanding of the context, and that's why a lot of times they find the questions very difficult. It's the same as like how we do our English comprehension. You must read with understanding first, then you go to the question.
Comprehension, yeah.
It's like comprehension skills because science is like everything's in one page. The question story and the questions are in one page. Whereas for English comprehension, it's
you have to flip, yes.
Yeah, you have to flip.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. So for structured questions, parents should really cover the question and spend more time on understanding the question story. Okay. What is the story telling you? What are you understanding from the question? Okay. What are the clues? Okay, so this is really the very good tip. It's very understandable straight away. Right? In fact, when I tell the children here, like in BlueTree, we also do this. Okay. We never show the question. We just tell me what you understand from the story. Right. Okay. So the thing that is additional is as the children progress, right, from primary 3 to 6, this story does become more complicated. The complication is in the addition of diagrams, graphs, and results table. So this question story becomes layered. Okay, layered with information. Okay. So this layering of information, again, if your child has never honed this reading skill, can you imagine by primary 6, and then the child see from one paragraph now become ba ba ba. Okay. So your child will definitely give up. Okay. They will definitely give up. They don't want to carry. Yeah, because it's like they never learned it. So I will really urge parents, as soon as your child is learning science, cover the question. So for parents with older children and they realize that their kids really need help in the reading skill, then I will tell them cover the question story really bit by bit. That means if let's say now there's a story, then the diagram, then the table, then you cover part by part. Okay. So this is what we call read and write. Okay, so it's actually I learned this from math. Math does that, but I find it so useful. The scaffolding, yes, it's scaffolding, exactly. Very good, it's scaffolding. So you're actually scaffolding your child's understanding of the context. At every step, right, you should encourage your child to write down some notes. Okay, so for example, the bird X, right, just now the bird X, right, then your child can write predator. Because eat other animals, right? So predator. So just write a few notes. Okay, this is making thinking visible, which is a super important skill for any learner. Okay, if your child's thinking is visible, right? Again, answering applying understanding becomes as easy as ABC. I think it's visible.
What is making thinking visible?
Making thinking visible is where they annotate notes. They write down notes to what they understood from the question.
So basically, it's important in the sense that the question itself will just take it, sort of push this story a bit further in what they're asking.
Correct. So it's like what you understand from the question, what is the question telling you?
Thinking visible, how does it kind of help the child to answer the question?
Okay, very good question. Okay, so two things. When you make your thinking visible, your focus is entirely on the question. The truth is, as a human, right, there's always a lot of things going about, right? Yeah. So we all know in order for a child to score well in exam, focus is like one of the main factor. Like how focused are you on the question, right? Focus is a main factor. So this is another skill that children needs to learn. How do I learn to keep my focus? So one way to help children keep their focus is make their thinking visible. Because when you are fully focused on the question, so it's almost like you're playing a game. You know, oh, the question is telling me this, okay, I write this down. Oh, the question is telling me this, okay, I write this down. So they are fully focusing on the question. So that helps to keep the focus so sharp, keep them sharp. And that's why when they are facing the question, usually they're able to think of the answer better. So it keeps your focus
like a predator often has sharp claws or whatever.
Yes, so it triggers the next.
It
triggers your thinking.
So how do you answer science questions? Why does this always come up? You know, like people say, how to answer science questions? How do I know the keywords? So what is underneath all this?
I spend a lot of time talking to a lot of parents, right? And yes, many of them are very anxious about science because, so for the first thing is every subject actually has their own language. So science has our own science language. So for a very long time, parents don't understand why is there a need to use keywords. And they feel that it's very restrictive. So yes, MOE has come out to say that they don't mark purely based on keywords. But however, if a child is excellent at using keywords, wouldn't that make the marker's job so much easier? Because the child is demonstrating the use of the science language in communicating their answers. So parents must respect the fact that science has their own vocabulary and language. I mean, for example, you can't just say water disappear. Water disappears and versus water gains heat and evaporate into water vapor. That's very, very different. Right? So what happens is our everyday language is not the science language. Parents, right, our everyday language is not aligned to the science language. Right? So sometimes when parents are teaching the science to their kids, right? I mean, I understand this, but sometimes they will say things like, I think this is wrong. This is not the way I learned it. You know? But when you say this, it makes the child more confused. So the child is very, very confused, you know, as to, you know, why mommy or daddy says this. So I think that it's important for parents to recognize, you know, that learning science encompasses this communication and language part. So there's this thing really called science vocabulary. Right? So that's number one. That's why parents feel very anxious because they have forgotten all these keywords. And maybe they feel a bit silly. So I will actually encourage parents, be curious. Be curious. Don't be a judge. Don't be a judge. When you're teaching your kids. Yes, maybe there are some things that doesn't make sense to you. But be curious and say, how should we communicate this in a science way? You know, then you're inviting your kids to also be curious. How should I communicate this in a science way? Then you're encouraging your child also to take ownership again, right? Instead of like saying, I think I'll write a note and check your teacher. Your teacher know our teacher. You know, they sometimes they say things like that. Wait, one more. Why they feel anxious? Because
parents or students?
Parents. Why they feel anxious? Because when the children are learning science, right, we're actually teaching scientific thinking. That's why there's these things like the experiment setup. But when parents see the question, they approach it in a very outcome-based way. They just want the answer. They just want to know what is the best way to answer this correctly. But they forget that learning is a process. That's why I really discourage parents to do the school past year papers without without the foundation in content.
Okay.
That's really dangerous. Yeah.
Really in school.
Then you get very, very frustrated. So actually the children are taught to think, to have this scientific thinking, which is actually very, very valuable.
Yes, very valuable.
Yeah. But parents feel anxious because they are not being taught the scientific thinking way.
Okay. So how would you define what is a simple way to understand scientific thinking?
So again, just stay curious. Be very curious. Yeah, don't judge. So if it's possible, all right, parents should try to incorporate some questions, about science in real life.
Can you give me an example of it?
Seriously, why is the sky blue?
What would a primary 6 or 5 student?
It doesn't matter. It can really be anything. Like COVID, right?
Mm.
A lot of children ask me, why is COVID so dangerous? What is causing COVID, Teacher Jo? They will ask me. Then I'll say it's a virus. Then they say, then what is a virus? Why must I get vaccination? How does vaccination work?
Okay.
Why do I feel sick after a vaccination?
Okay.
They have a lot of questions, and they are very, very good questions.
Yeah.
So I explain what viruses are, right? And I tell them what vaccination do, and then they will say, oh yeah, but my mommy, daddy say that vaccination are not good. They cause side effects. How some people will get side effects and some won't. It's like how it's actually they are curious about how our body works.
Okay.
Right. So then I'll explain to them about some people they have existing illness, such as the heart illnesses, right? And then I'll tell them the virus vaccination how it works. So I say, remember just now how it works? I told you they are live virus, so your body has to fight. So when your body is fighting, your heart must work harder. That's why those with existing illness sometimes they become more sick, right? Yeah. So these are real good questions. Yeah, but very often when parents teach science to their children, they say outcome-based learning. They just want to know, what's the model answer? Let's memorize. But PSLE is not about model answer. PSLE, it's not a test of memory,
Okay.
It's not a test of whose memory is the best. PSLE is really a test of application of your thinking skills.
Okay, so any other thoughts on this thing about how to coach the children in terms of understanding these concepts of revision in science?
Okay, because this is for the PSI parents.
Yeah.
So in view of the short-term time frame, I want to be very practical. Okay, so in view of the short timeline, right? So if you have 3 months to PSLE, right? Really, the best way is please practice the MCQ. For parents, right? Aim for at least 2 MCQ papers per week. 2 MCQ papers.
And it can be past year school.
It can be past year school papers. It can be the school materials. So actually, the children have a lot of school material. Their existing school worksheets, right? They can redo them.
Okay.
Yeah, they can use them as a way to revise, redo, test themselves again.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the MCQ part, right? Okay. Read the textbook, please. At least 2 chapters per week. Really keep that misconception book. Right. Okay. So some children will not want to. They don't want to write.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the other tip is record.
Okay.
Record. Because a lot of times when they're revising, right? Maybe they can borrow their parents' phone.
Okay.
Just leave a voice message. Just record. Oh, I made a mistake here. I forgot that clouds are made of water droplets. Just record.
Okay.
Yeah. You can just play back and listen.
Okay, so one thing that I forgot to ask just now was that, the textbook is good for, you need to know the content first, right? So, supposing that the children are quite diligent about revising and reading through and they understand the textbook. So in terms of how to apply, what should they do? Go to past year papers or SLS or experiment type questions which are not in the science textbook.
Yes.
So what's the next step after that?
Okay, so just now I talked about the MCQ papers and the school worksheets, right? Okay, so for the structured question, actually I think a lot of parents don't know. There's a homework guide to the textbook.
Is it?
Yes. So actually they can reach out to the major bookstores. Most of the schools now use Inspiring. The textbook name is called Inspiring. Okay. There is a homework book. Yeah, so instead of buying assessment book, which we all know is sometimes full of errors and not set by MOE teachers,
Okay.
and maybe not updated.
Okay.
A very reliable source would be the textbook homework copy. You know, the same publisher Inspiring. The school textbook has a homework copy. Okay.
What does the homework copy mean? That means that they will set homework, set questions, and they will have the answer key.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it comes from the textbook.
Oh.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
It's like so convenient. Just buy and then you can refer and then
right.
yeah.
So can go to Popular. I'll go and check it out.
Yeah, go check it out.
Okay.
I don't know why is this a secret.
I don't know. I don't know about it. No.
Yeah, I don't even know that. I also don't know why parents don't know. So this is very
okay,
useful.
today for me, my kids are done. Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
SLS, yes. SLS has questions that are approved and vetted by the school, right? So these are reliable source again. So I like the word reliable source.
Okay.
Right? Because at the end, 3 months into PSLE,
Yeah.
you don't want to waste your time
Yeah,
anymore,
yeah.
right?
Okay.
Then of course finally for BlueTree law, you know, we have a lot of free downloads. You can check out our website for the.
You mean you have free downloads on your website?
A lot. My website has a lot of free downloads. I
Oh.
give it to the parents all the time. The
No need
notes,
to
no
password
need,
protect
no
or
need.
what? Oh,
No
is
need.
it?
It's all out there, yes.
Wow.
So just whether you want to go and get time and go and search
Okay,
for this reliable
interesting.
source. So I mean that one is because 3 months, but if let's say parents really have younger children,
There will also
then
be some primary 5 people that we are also targeting.
that's good. So if let's say they're primary 5, right, then I will really encourage parents how to revise, right? Is like I mentioned just now, those tips are cover the question and all that. You know, whenever your child has a
Yeah.
homework,
Yeah.
don't rush into it. And if actually possible, okay, parents should absolutely try to use real life examples. Because actually a lot of experiments are not difficult. It's kitchen science.
Okay.
Okay, so like the omelette that we're going to do, right?
Okay, so what would oblect in the
Kitchen science.
in the PSLE Science
Syllabus.
topics? What
States of matter.
states of
Primary 4.
Okay.
Standard primary 4 states of matter. So the omelette is actually just some cornstarch and water. Okay, to be fair, a lot of people don't cook these days.
Yes.
But actually when we were young, our parents make all the kueh and dumpling.
Yeah.
Omelette is something we play before.
Oh.
You know the dumpling. And
The tapioca starchy
Yeah,
thing, right?
yeah,
That's
that's
oblak. Oh,
it's
is it?
oblak, yeah. So
I
it's
remember
just-
we were playing as a kid, yes.
Yes. So, but because these days, because of working moms, we don't really cook, right? But so we can use some kitchen science, you know, just do some omelette. Actually, omelette doesn't take a long time, 5 minutes only. Some
Is it?
cornstarch,
Cornstarch
some
and
water.
Okay.
Then you can let your child play with it. So, I mean, I will really encourage parents to have science conversation. So
Okay, so what are some science conversations surrounding oblak, for example?
Okay, so what do you think is the state? Is it solid, liquid, or gas? What do you think? Can I fit it into a container?
Okay.
Right? Can I fit into a container? You know, they're just so curious. Just be very curious. You know, like then after I say that, after 10 minutes it hardens. So is it a solid? No, it was liquid. Then it becomes solid. Then the parent and the child should go like, yeah, what happened there?
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened there? And then after that, just look up together, look up the information,
Okay.
you know, from the internet or ChatGPT together, and you can have a very rich conversation. Actually, what happened is the omelette is neither it's neither
Yeah, it's
solid.
neither not solid.
It's
nor-
not. Yeah, it's actually Newtonian. Newton, as in this word Newton.
Yeah.
Newtonian fluid. Yeah, it's actually they don't learn it in the syllabus, but I feel that it's a very good way to get the children to be curious about science. It's not in syllabus, but let's not learn things according. You know what? Like be curious about science. Your child is learning science for the first time,
Okay.
and I think being curious about science will help your child to want to learn more on their own. Again, back to the taking ownership. And when your child takes ownership, right? Later on, when the questions becomes harder, your child will be more motivated. I feel that a lot of times parents struggle also with teaching their children is because their kids actually did not take ownership
Yeah.
and were relying totally on the parents for answers and for solution. So like parents with like younger kids, right? I will really urge them to don't provide the solution. Yeah, just discover together.
Like in this oblak example.
Yeah, like the omelette example. Even if you may know the answer. Yeah, just play pretend, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you provide the solution to your kid, then science become a very outcome-based subject. But science is not. Science is very process. It's really a process-driven, a discovery type of subject. Yeah. A lot of times they ask like, is this right? This is right, man.
Okay.
You know, like they just ask this is right. You know, like especially in the Facebook groups.
Yeah.
A lot of parents will say this is wrong. But actually, to be honest, science is right until proven. Yeah.
I mean, what we know now is what we know now, but something in the future could change what we know.
So actually, the nature of the science questions are also reflecting this. That's why there's a lot of experimental type questions. A lot of times the questions are based on explain your answer in terms of the result, based on the results. So the results is like from the question, like how they analyze the results, what do they understand from the results.
Yeah.
Right. You see, it's nothing to do with what your child remember of the concepts. Of course, if a strong foundation will help your child to analyze the question better. Okay, but let's come back. But what I'm trying to say is, now that more and more question is like that. They want our students, right, to apply their scientific thinking and skills. And that scientific thinking and skills can at home, right, is the only way is just be curious. Okay. You just have to be curious, yeah. Okay, one more thing. Please don't talk down, you know, like when your child, you know, like sometimes when your child say the wrong thing or remember the wrong facts, some parents will, I told you so many times.
Yeah.
Don't say this. It's really not very encouraging. Yeah. So as parents, sometimes maybe we think that we are reminding the kids. Yeah. But in actual fact, the children feel that they are not given a chance to learn and to correct their mistake. Yeah. So they will think like, what's the point of trying? Right. I don't want to try anymore. Anyway, my mother always say that I get it wrong. I get it wrong.
Okay. Yeah. So they feel they're not given a chance to try.
Right. They're not given a chance to try. So this is for the children who are younger, not So for the children who are younger, you have a longer timeline. Instead of saying, I told you this so many times, okay, say things like, last week we had a conversation on this. What do you remember from it? Okay. So you pick up from where your child is. You respect that your child is still a learner and and it's fine and it's okay, right? It's okay, right? It's okay. We don't forget things. Okay. Instead of saying, why do you always forget? Do you pay attention in class? Okay. We should actually say things like, tell me what you know of this. Tell me what you know. So be a guide. Okay. Don't be a critic. Yeah. I think that's the best.
Otherwise the child shuts down, doesn't make effort.
I tell you, when your child shuts down, everything's gone okay. And I see this. I actually see this more and more now. I don't know why. Especially after COVID, I don't know what happened, but I see a lot of children shutting down.
What do you mean by shutting down?
The kids say, I don't know, I asked my mother, that kind of thing. They just no longer vested in learning.
So this is kind of one possible consequence if they always shut down in this way. Is that correct? Okay.
We should look at our Jolene. Right, in Chinese we have this thing called tang ping.
Oh, yeah, tang ping.
Right. Why our children tang ping?
Yeah, I don't know. So.
The way we speak to our children is hardly encouraging.
I guess a lot of all this is sort of like, but some children, they are not really even engaging with their parents. They are not open to their parents getting involved.
I think that children, when from 0 to 6, I would say safely, parents are gods. GODS. The parents are like, wow, and it's really like the way we speak to them that cause that change of the shutdown. Parents don't shut. Children don't close themselves. You look at children. Any children, they are so open. Yeah. Of course, maybe there are a few that's very, very introvert by nature. Yeah. But most kids tell you anything, everything. They tell you the most funniest thing and the dumbest thing, right? If your child really shuts down on you, right, you really have to do a lot of reflection. Yeah. So I have also counseled a lot of parents and children along the way. A lot of experts will say keep the communications open, but this word "open" differs greatly from one parent to another. What is open? Yeah. If now your child tell you that, "Mommy, I took a cigarette and smoked today," so I will say, "I never scold him. Very good already, okay?" Yeah. Okay. But another parent will say, "Oh yeah, I actually asked him what brand, where you buy." You know, like everybody's openness is
correct.
on a very different definition plane. Right. So when we say keep your communications open, yes, but I think more importantly is keep your communications open and non-judgmental. I think the word is non-judgmental. I think as parents we really judge our kids a lot. You have no idea, like maybe, you know, I was eating alone after lesson, right? I was eating alone. Then there's this mother, she couldn't find a seat, the food court was very full. So she said things like, I told you so many times, stand here. I told you that stand here, once people get out, just sit down. So she was blaming her child for not grabbing the seat. And the poor kid just eat the noodle in quiet. You know, like, so, and the mother kept ranting. Every time like that. You know, this time I tell you already so many times, you know. Right, and it's very common, right? It's not
very common,
It's very common.
It's quite hard for parents to sit in this kind of like, I don't know, and this is going to be the exam.
Correct. And then a lot of children will ask their parents, oh, you don't know.
Triggered already.
Triggered already, correct. But I think it's alright for parents to say that I don't know because it's been a long time ago and I never applied. Then the children this question be, then why am I learning this? Right? So that's when the parents really need to unpack that. Yes, although I forgot the science fact. But the thinking skills stayed
and we
with
can
me.
go through it together.
Yes.
I think it's very challenging, right, for parents.
It's not just like math, you know, like a lot of parents will ask their parents, you don't use algebra now, why am I learning algebra? But they don't understand that these are just topics to help to build their thinking skill. So actually the thinking skill in learning forces or energy stays with us. Real life application is important because then science makes sense. So for children, right, the like why, you know, the why is actually very important. But we make the why real life, right? So the children understand the why immediately. So that's why here at BlueTree, everything is very hands-on. Very, very hands-on. Because the hands-on activity will really make that why very obvious.
So, like for example, say one of these photos, how?
So like the stethoscope, right? So when we let them listen to our lungs and our heart, so immediately they became very interested in learning body systems, and they become so keen to learn more. We don't need to say things like, come on, let's learn together. You know, we don't need, they want to learn. So the sessions become richer and more meaningful. And then they learn something that even adults don't know. So they will go home and then they'll tell their parents. And they become very excited. Because they feel that, hey, I got something useful, something that my parents don't know. This is where parents should really stop and listen. So if your child really share something like this with you, give them the time, give them the stage. Let them shine. They will want to tell you more. I don't know, for me, I always find that part very lovely. Then they will go and say, Mommy, you know, so if you have a lung, your lungs will come back, you need to lie flat, you know, to operate.
Can. Okay, great.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.